Pizza guys/girls, does your shop have a no delivery list? What houses are on it and why? We had a guy and two girls order separately, then grab the pizzas and run. The girls had picked the food up and left, while the guy was paying. After 30 seconds the guy bolted. It was a $100 order. My manager, who is a frequent gym goer, leapt the counter and gave chase. The two girls had gotten into a car with the food, but when they saw my manager they drove off leaving the guy. My manager chased him 3 blocks, and was gaining on the guy when the girls pulled up and the guy got into the car. Unfortunately, all 3 of them went to school with a kitchen hand at the store, so we had names, jobs, addresses, and Facebook accounts. We contacted them all on Facebook, and got them to pay for the pizzas the next morning under threat of contacting police. We also put them on the no delivery list. I'm sure I'm too late for this to really be seen, but here's my positive story. I delivered for a while in college, and there was 2 "we don't deliver there" neighborhoods. The manager actually allowed it to be driver's choice, but pretty much everyone said no. I actually had a friend who grew up in one of these neighborhoods and I knew it wasn't just drug-dealing murdering psychopaths running rampant, so I said yes, and I delivered to these neighborhoods. One time I was delivering to an apartment that was part of a triplex or quadplex and some kid outside, probably like 5 or 6 years old, stuck his finger at me and said, "This is a robbery. Give me your money." I just chuckled and kept walking. While I was giving the person their pizza I heard from behind me, "The hell do you think you're doing, boy? Don't you know he the only one who deliver here?" Then as I was walking back to my car he was standing on the sidewalk, mom several feet behind him, and he said, "I'm sorry." Okay, we had a really nasty apartment complex in one area of Sacramento. Totally a no. One night a new guy took an order and actually accepted one from there. I was about to call back and say no, I was assistant manager at the time, but running pizzas that day, when in come 2 cops to pick up their pizza. They listen in and offer to tag along. I was dumb and crazy then, so we made the pizza and I loaded into my little truck and drove out there. As soon as we pull into the parking lot, the cop turns off all his lights and coasts into TH spot next to mine. I walk up, start the spiel, and start listening to their story of this guy or that guy ordered it. I started to walk away and one of the shady dudes steps out of the bushes next to me, where he'd been hiding. Instantly, every light came on the cop car, flashers, both spotlights pointing right at me, the cops getting out of the car, fast. Dude steps way back, I walk back to my car, and a couple cops got an extra free pizza that night, and I got a great story. I had something like that happen to me. Mom and Pop Pizza Place, I had already delivered part of their order and realized I had forgotten something on it, told then I'd be right back out with it. The store was only like 2 miles away. So as I turn on their street, I get stuck behind this old ratty van that pulls into the driveway of the house I was going back to. My first thought was these blocked the driveway I need. Well, about 1 second later the SWAT team jumps out and raids the house. I take off and go back to my store to tell them what happened. A few days later I'm at my firehouse and one of the cops that was on the raid asked what I was doing at the house. I told him and he said a couple of the cops wanted to stop me but he recognized my car and told then I was cool. The occupants probably concluded in retrospect that you were working with the cops. As both a retired cop from SAC who almost certainly knows and has visited said complex and a lover of pizza currently enjoying a slice from Pizza Guys, this tickles me. Used to catch the same super mellow pizza dude rolling a stop sign in one of the mellower parts of South Sac pretty regularly. He was always so chill about the whole thing I could never bring myself to ticket him, especially after he showed up at my house one night on a delivery and recognized me. Thank God Mama taught me to tip well and be a friendly cop. We fist bumped, had a quick laugh, and my pizza was always delivered hot and fast. Thank G-Bus for pizza dudes. When I worked at a pizza place, we just had one person that we wouldn't deliver to because he would always refuse to pay and hassle the delivery guy, saying the pizza was cold, took too long, wasn't the right order, whatever. He probably got a couple free pizzas at least before we stopped bothering sending him anymore. We used to have people try to claim the pizza was cold even after we got bags with ceramic heat stones in them. A pizza could be a lot of things but cold wasn't one of them. you could have a pizza in one of those bags for 2 hours and the bottom of the box would be so hot you could barely touch it. It was a pain having to keep those bags plugged in and rotate them, so you were always using a hot one though. Had this one that would always do this. He would also cuss you out, and the first time I delivered to him I was just in shock, so I didn't say anything, got stiffed and went on my way. The second time I delivered to him I didn't realize it was him until I pulled up to the apartment. He opens the door and starts cussing me out. It had been 15 minutes since he called in his order, about the pizza being cold, he hadn't touched it, and how I took way too long. I saw the person take the order on the phone. I threw the dough, made the pizza, I put it in the oven, I pulled it out, and cut it. I did everything but take the order. Well, this guy caught me in a mood since I had been south of the train tracks all night and had already made over 10 runs, usually have 2 to 3 delivers a run at this store, that night without a single tip. As he started cussing me out I politely asked him if he would like the pizza or not. He said yes, but he wanted it for free. I said something along the lines of okay, you can have it for free. I pulled it out of the bag, opened the box and just flipped it face down right on the ground and walked away. That was seriously one of the best feelings of my life. I got back to the store and the shift manager pulled me into his office and asked what happened because the dude obviously called him after this whole situation. I told him what happened. Other delivery drivers confirmed they had the same experience of this guy being a total. The shift manager relayed all the info to the GM, who relayed it to the DM. They banned the guy and I didn't get reprimanded at all. I used to deliver sandwiches for a shop. We had to blacklist this one lady who would call up last minute and demand 50 to 100 sandwiches for her meetings, and she wanted them delivered in 15 minutes. We explained things to her over and over again that this was not how it worked, but she still demanded her order. So, when it showed up 45 minutes later than expected, she became a monster, causing a scene, not tipping, sending in complaints to the district manager, etc. This happened so many times, and finally, one day, she called in an order for 200 sandwiches, wanted it in 15 minutes. I delivered it myself and she took the sandwiches from me for her meeting. I sat there and waited for her to sign the receipt, and waited. And waited. Turns out, she took the sandwiches into her meeting and booked the hell out of there, not signing the receipt. She then called her bank to cancel the charge on her card and called us in for fraud. She had the nerve to call up our district manager and said that we owed this to her since all of her orders were late. She was blacklisted after that, and my district manager finally apologized for not believing me on this story. Drug reps are the worst. I worked at a Little Caesars when I was a teenager. On a really snowy night, one of our drivers got into a car accident and sadly lost his life on his way to deliver the pizza. The customer called in a little while after we learned about the accident and absolutely lost his pizza hadn't been delivered. When the manager explained the situation, he stated he did not give a and wanted his pizza delivered for free. Needless to say, he got an earful from my manager and then was put onto a no-serve list. Similar, I was bartending at a popular chain restaurant years ago, and on a busy night, we had an elderly woman almost die in the dining room. I'm not sure if she started choking or had a seizure or an allergic reaction or what, but medics were called and CPR was performed on her on the floor of the restaurant. She lived, for the record. But more than one table had the audacity to complain that their meal was being interrupted during the chaos and were demanding free stuff. Like, one set of people had to get up from their seats and move so that she could be wheeled out on a stretcher. And somehow they're the ones who had their dinner ruined. I hate people sometimes. Ugh, I am on the no delivery list of 2 restaurants because my roommate is an idiot and can't math to save his life. He once sent a driver away after a heated conversation with a 25-cent tip. Unfortunately, I was in the shower at the time. It wasn't until afterwards that he was explaining the situation to me that I realized what a moron he was. The bill came to $20.25. He gave the guy $20 and thought it was a good tip because we ordered 2 sandwiches that were basically $7 a piece and a $1 soda for a total of $15, so $5 tip. In actuality, the sandwiches were $7.99 and the soda was $1.99, so $18 right there. Then there was a $2.25 delivery fee. So $20.25. Unfortunately, The delivery guy spoke almost zero English, so all he could say was not enough to my roommate, and my roommate isn't who wouldn't read the demmed receipt. He is no longer allowed to answer our door.